Hello, happy Friday. So this is section 3 of chapter 12. So if you're one of my students that loves reading the textbook, you can find all of this information in section 3 of chapter 12. This will be the last section that I teach before our test because I've already taught you the section 4 stuff. We're going to look at our chapter test probably next Wednesday for my Monday, Wednesday classes and next Thursday for my Tuesday, Thursday classes. So kind of start thinking that way. On Monday and Tuesday, I'll give you a little bit more focused study guide since this will be our first test online. But let's get started. I'll try to make this short and sweet since it's Friday. All right. First thing we need to look at is some vocabulary. You do already know this term meniscus. That is that curve that forms when you put water in a graduated cylinder or test tube. So you are familiar with that. Vocabulary you need to learn: viscosity, surface tension, surfactant. These are going to be the ones we really focus on. I'll touch on the other four at the end of toward the end of the PowerPoint. Okay. All right, so forces of attraction keep molecules closely together in a fixed volume. This is review for you, not in a fixed position. Liquids are denser than gases because of their intermolecular forces. And large amounts of pressure must be applied in order to compress a liquid. Remember, only gases are the ones that we really think of pressure affecting the volume of. Now, let's talk about this word fluidity. Fluidity is the ability for a substance to flow. So we talked about both gases and liquids being considered a fluid, and I showed you the picture of liquid bromine and gas bromine last week flowing, and you could see it pouring out. Viscosity is a new word for us. Viscosity, defined in your book, is a measure of the resistance of a liquid to flow. High school English terms. Viscosity refers to how thick a liquid is. So something like honey has a high viscosity. It's very thick. Syrup is going to be very thick. Something like coffee or tea or water is going to have a very low viscosity. It's very thin. It flows very easy. So low viscosity flows very easy. High viscosity flows very slowly or difficultly. Viscosity is affected by a substance intermolecular forces, by the size of the particle, as well as the shape of the particle. The one you're going to be most familiar with is temperature. So I want you to think about like maple syrup on your pancakes. If it's coming straight out of the refrigerator, it's really cold. It does not pour onto your pancakes very easily. However, if you grew up with a grandma like mine, she always heated up the maple syrup before she gave it to us. Well, the heated up maple syrup just poured over the pancakes and ran all over the plate, super easy. That temperature change is what affected the viscosity. Again, you can think of intermolecular forces. The stronger those forces are, the more viscous a liquid will be. The weaker the intermolecular forces are, the less viscous it will be. I'm just putting this screen up there. You can read it. It just kind of summarizes what we've been talking about a little bit. Let's talk about surface tension. Surface tension is the energy required to increase the surface area of a liquid. High school English. It's the amount of energy that the molecules pull inward so that their surface is firm, right? So if something has a strong surface tension, the surface of it is really firm and can what's the word I'm looking for? But sustain pressure being put on it. If the surface tension is very low or very weak, if you tried to put pressure on it, you would go right into the liquid. This surface tension is affected by the attraction between particles. So the stronger the attraction, the stronger the surface tension. Water has a surface tension. All liquids do. But it's the surface tension of the water. If you think of any of those pictures of like insects walking on water, that's because of the surface tension of water. A surfactant then is a compound that lowers the surface tension of water. The most common surfactant that we have in everyday life is soap. That's why we use soap to clean things, is it breaks down those hydrogen bonds of the water so that the water can lift the dirt out of our clothes, off of our hands, and get it washed down the drain. So soap is a very common surfactant. In fact, you'll look at that in some of the other videos that I post. Liquids have two forces that work together that you need to know. One is cohesion and the other is adhesion. So cohesion is the force of attraction between identical molecules. So when water molecule is attracting another water molecule, that is cohesion. Adhesion is the force of attraction between molecules that are different. So when water is attracted to the glass of the graduated cylinder, that is adhesion. Let's go back to this real quick. In fact, the reason water will form that meniscus in the graduated cylinder is due to adhesion, the water's attraction to the side of the graduated cylinder. The reason water will form droplets hanging off of like your faucet or a pipette or a dropper is because of cohesion, the water molecules pulling each other close together. So we see that in play very often. In fact, it's cohesion and adhesion that allow you to suck liquids up a straw, that let you, if you've ever put your finger on the top of a straw and held liquid up inside of it, all of this is at play. Let's just briefly touch on crystalline solids, which are solids that form very set crystals. Very often these are ionics, but sometimes molecules can be arranged in this very orderly shape. That's a crystalline solid. You don't have to worry about the different types that there are. But I do want to also talk about amorphous solids. Amorphous means without, that's the A, morph, shape. So amorphous solids are solids that don't have a definite shape. These are things that can melt and cool quickly. So things like gas, rubber, and plastics are going to be your amorphous solids. All right, we made it through. Couple other videos posted for you. Make sure you watch them. Do your assignments. I'll see you either 2 o'clock today if you need extra help, or on Monday or Tuesday, depending what period you are. Have a great weekend. Love you guys.